Trey, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Going back to that period of time when you got the franchise tag, signing it quickly. Were you expecting to end up with the franchise tag? Was that something that was there any surprise to that? And what kind of went into the decision to sign it, the tag as quickly as you did?
Yeah, I was just going through the process, and obviously that's what ended up happening. And getting a tag is a tremendous sense of honor in a way that the organization has that much faith and confidence in your ability as a player. So for me, I looked at it really as a blessing at the time, and ultimately we got the deal done, and that's a great blessing again, and something I had to go earn.
Leading up to the July 15th deadline, were you always confident you were going to sign a long-term deal as it got close to the deadline? Were there any doubts? What was that process like as July 15th approached?
Yeah, man, I got a veteran offensive lineman that trained me when I was a young kid named Artis Hicks, and I have a lot of long conversations and talks with him, and he just told me, man, at the end of the day, you can control the controllables. I can control my effort, my hard work, and that's all I can control at the end of the day. So obviously, I'm a faith-driven person. I just trusted in God, and I just kept going to work.
In your position of sat out of mandatory minicamp, why was it important for you just to be there for that process?
I want to be with my team. I love being here with the Kansas City Chiefs. I have a tremendous sense of honor and pride playing here. I really love my job. You know what I mean? Like, I miss Kansas City, and anytime I can come back and play a game I love, man, I'm not going to hesitate to do it.
You talked about your family, obviously, what
Yep.
you guys have been through, and what you've been through too. When you got the contract signed, you could tell you're pretty happy about it. What did it all mean for you to, go back to them and say, "Hey, I made it"?
Yeah, man. My bad. I lost my mom when I was 15, and I made 2 promises to her that I'll get my degree, play in the NFL. I didn't promise her I'd be the highest paid, but I made a promise, man, and my parents sacrificed so much for me to be here, so much, and to have that moment with them, it's special, bro. It's special, and it's something I won't take for granted, man. My bad.
You're good.
Trey, had your conversation with your sister.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Ashley was at work, so she missed the FaceTime call, but just super excited, man, and just talking to them, and just really happy, man. Just we went through a lot, and being able to sort of put an exclamation point on that. There's still work to do, but it was just an amazing time to spend with both my dad and my sister.
What's your message to guys? Because so many people put so much stock in where people are drafted and things like that. In terms of just the fact that you can come into the league, work your way into being the highest paid interior lineman.
Yeah, man. Every day, just come to work. Every day, 100 miles per hour. Just whatever you do, man. I'd rather say whoa than go. And that's just sort of the mentality you have to bring, as a undrafted, even a low drafted guy. Not necessarily that the cards are stacked against you. When you step in the NFL, man, you step in that field, it's open competition. You know what I mean? You got to go earn that spot every single day. I step on the field, I got to go earn my job every single day. And, if you have that worker's mentality, you give 100%, you try to, apply what your coaches are telling you in your game every single day and just become a better player, it'll pay off. But at the end of the day, you have to put the work in. There are a lot of days that are going to be bad. Most of the days are going to be bad, but those good days, man, they're good and they're sweet, man. But you just got to put the work in.
When you were drafted, you slipped in the draft because of medical issues, and then, no one really knew if you'd be able to compete for a starting job right away, and you came out and won the starting job. Josh Simmons, somewhat similar. People had questions about whether he'd be ready, and now he's here with a chance to win the job as a rookie. What advice do you give him about competing for a starting spot as a rookie in his first camp?
Yeah, man, just go to work, man. Everything Coach Heck and Coach Matei, and we have Juan Castillo and Cam Irvin today helping us out as well. Just apply everything you can to your game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Everything's not gonna come at once. It's gonna take time to develop those habits. St. Joe's is one of the hardest training camps in the NFL. It's gonna be miserable every single day, and just get used to it, man. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep fighting. You got to keep punching. You got to keep swinging day after day after day and just keep stacking and keep building. And when the season comes around, you're ready. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I would give them the same advice I would give myself as a rookie. Just show the work every day and just give them your best.
You did start. how do you gauge his readiness? Maybe because I know it's going to be a long camp to eventually do that.
I just got to do my role as a player. I let my coaches, we have a great front office staff. They'll make those determinations at the end of the day. But I'm gonna help Josh along the way. I'm gonna help every young guy along the way, and that's part of a leadership position. I pride myself. Creed prides themselves. Juwan, all the other guys in the room, and offensive line room, pride ourselves and bringing the young guys along to play up to the standard of Andy Heck and Corey Matei and all the coaches.
What has jumped out to you about Kingsley this time around?
Yeah, I would say the same thing, man. Even last year, his tenacity. Kingsley is a very talented player, strong player, violent. I love Kings, and I think he does a great job. He definitely is living up to the standard of what it means to play offensive line here with the Kansas City Chiefs, and really excited for his development as a player.
Trey, this is your first training camp since your rookie season that you're going to be here without Joe Thuney. What does his absence mean to you guys? And you mentioned stepping up as a leader, but is that something that you and Creed talked about, or how do you replace a guy like that?
Man, one, I miss him. That's the first thing. Damn, I miss Joe. But second part is, obviously it's the presence that's missed. Not just the leadership on the field, but the things you guys don't see. The times in the locker room, keeping morale high. And at the end of the day, it's sort of a natural thing. Father Time sort of just phases it out a little bit, and obviously it's Creed, JT, and I just in an older situation, and it sort of sets on us just with our age to sort of be the leading presence in the room. And the beautiful thing about it is Joe Thuney was such a great leader that he gave us an example and a standard to set by. So for us, we know what it looks like to be great, and for us, it's just coming close to that.
So when the line goes out to dinner now, who picks up the tab? You, Creed, or do you put it on the rookie?
No, man, we don't do any rookie hazing or anything like that, man. I was a low draft pick, so I would never want to make a rookie favorite, first round or not, anybody. I don't like that. But we'll definitely foot that bill. You know what I mean?
The actual moment of when you got the call or the actual news that you were getting the deal that you wanted.
Yeah, it was a little hectic day. It's actually in my barbershop. Shout out to Juan Bonds, Purple Label. I was getting my hair cut, and I got the call. So just say I was in and out really fast.
You go straight from there?
Yeah, fly. Doing the speed limit, though.